Yo, you're listening to All Elite Podcast. Boom.
And it is the worst podcast ever. We live! Ow!
Frankie Terry, Scorpio Sky, Mark Daniels, Collective SoCal, Ed Centered Or, SCU!
This is Isaiah Cassidy, I'm Mark Quinn, and we're Private Podcast.
This is the All Elite Podcast,
And you're listening to the All Elite Podcast.
which happens to be the worst podcast I've ever been on. SCU!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the All Elite Podcast right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I am your host of the No Holds Barred Network and CEO and owner of the No Holds Barred Network, Kyle Masters, and I'm always joined by my co-host. She is the EVP of Giggles, the Queen of the Indies, herself, the Heartbreak Chick, and the Queen of Skype problems today, Tiffany. What's going on, Tiff? Tell us about your Skype problems, John. These are fantastic, aren't they? I mean, I go through my fair share.
Listen, it's usually if you run a podcast, you know the troubles of running a podcast.
Oh, wait, Tiff. We got to do our test. Remember we did last week? Can everyone hear us? I think we good. I think we're good.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, welcome to 2020. New decade.
Started off with a bang.
Yeah, with a bang. Way to go, Skype.
Damn it, Skype. You get the belt of shame.
Why is everything failing? It's like this is the real Y2K happening this year, because I don't know if you've seen Tiff. It sucks because I actually love those video games and I didn't buy this year's, but I guess right at midnight on January 1st this year, WWE 2K20 just crapped out. You couldn't load the game. So everyone's like, oh, WWE 2K20, that doesn't load in 2020. What a fail. People at 2K, shame on you. You get the bell of shame.
It's been a while.
Shame. I
Shaming,
know.
right?
It's got to make its way back.
I know.
Need to shame you more. I got shame Skype today. Yikes.
Serious.
I don't know what happened with that. It's like I couldn't see you, then I was seeing you, then it wasn't calling, then it was calling. I don't know. A few people that do podcasts, you know what we're talking about. I'm sure you guys run your fair share of Skype issues. Just, it's not fun sometimes. Not. But anyways, we're here. We're fine. We're live. We good. We did our test. We're good.
To everybody in the chat. We got a nice little groove. How you guys doing? Happy New Year and all that fun.
I'm here for the Dynamite review of the homecoming issue of Dynamite.
Fat Pharaoh. Let's see. Where are you, Fat Pharaoh? It's been a while.
Yeah, we had these people and things on the podcast we haven't done in a while, just because it's been a busy end of the year. But more Fat Pharaoh this year. That's our New Year's resolution. The
New Year's resolution. Are we getting back on the Full Gear Challenge? Because people said that they're going to be getting back on this, and I need to get back on it, but I'm still kicking a cold
I always make fun of those people who are like, hashtag New Year, new me. I always make fun of those people like all the time because it happens all the time. Like I'm going to say 95% of the time, it's like the first 3 weeks, yeah, you're into it, and then after you're like, oh, well, I'll do it next year. I'll start next year. That's okay.
I think Fat Pharaoh needs to get back onto the trade. I think we need more pictures again this year of him working out as well. I don't know.
Maybe for Fat Pharaoh will do it, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you know what? Hashtag New Year, new me. I'm not doing that. No, that's not me.
No. You know what's gonna happen this year? We're gonna have more amazing podcasts. We're gonna have more content to the network. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have more wrestlers on the podcast. We're gonna kill it this year.
Yeah, we are newcomers of the year in 2019. We got to be podcast of the year for 2019. That's our goal. That's our New Year's resolution, is to become podcast of the year for 2020. So big things coming to this podcast, guys. Gonna want to keep up to date with us. Want to get some more fanfare into it, like more you guys involved with this podcast, maybe some contests later on in the year towards pay-per-views or whatnot. We'll see how that goes. Take it one step at a time.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So
like stuff to the podcast will be upgraded this year. Like I know right now, I told Tiff on the way I have a new mixer coming in for my setup here. Right now I'm plugged in USB. I'm going to be switching to an XLR output, and then Tiff's going to be running through that mixer board somehow. I'm going to watch like a billion YouTube tutorials on how to make this podcast sound better for your listening enjoyment out there.
Yeah, he's going to run it how I run mine. That's pretty much what he's doing.
Basically. It took me long enough.
That's okay. We get there. Only making better moves in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm. Hashtag New Year, new us.
That's right. And I'm working on some stuff that we're going to be probably podcasting at some indie events. Well, I am as well. So a lot of things coming to the network.
I'm not coughing because of that.
I'm
not coughing because of that. Excuse me.
I'm taking applications for a new co-host.
No.
Right?
No, not happening.
The other way. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Anyways, I think I'm good. Sorry for ruining all your ears out there. Yeah, 2020 gonna be big for this podcast. Anywho, speaking of that, I'm working on a logo for that. It's gonna be a T-shirt soon. Dynamite this week was sweet, pretty cool.
Crowd was hot.
Crowd was really hot. Before you do Dynamite, we haven't done this in a while. Like go around the AEW world, kind of just touch base with what we've seen out there. Not a lot, but there is one thing that's happened recently, Tiff. You want to know what that is? New merch alert! New merch alert! Yes. We got some new merch. New merch has been, what was that? New merch has been hopping into, I can't even talk right now because of that. We got some new AEW merch. I'm excited to share it with you guys here and to talk about it. So we have it up on screen if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening back to us, thank you for downloading the episode first. And I'm sure you've seen it on, if you're following the AEW social media and going to the shop.aew.com. First couple of t-shirts, we got Pac. Finally, he's got a t-shirt. And interesting background to that T-shirt. He's finally got a Bastard T-shirt. Inner Circle's got a new design on their T-shirt. I could dig that. I could rock that.
I like it.
Yeah, I can cop it. Not sure if I want Inner Circle shirt yet, though. We'll see.
Oh?
No, I don't know.
Wear the Inner Circle shirt. Why not?
I'm just not a fan of like the designs. I don't know. It's just me. That's just me. 2 other new T-shirts. So Lucha Bros got a new shirt, but this thing is like so weird. It's like an Undertaker type shirt. Like there's like tombstones and stuff around it, and it's very dark. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I like the colors. I don't know. I'm liking the colors of it.
I like the colors, just the theme of it. I'm like, okay, why wasn't this released on Halloween?
Jeez.
The Young Bucks got a new T-shirt, a Super Kick Party T-shirt with the skull being like, basically getting super kicked from behind, all the crap's being spewed out of its head.
Yeah, I like it. I love all the Young Bucks shirts.
Mm-hmm. So that I wonder if that one is a Merch Freak shirt design or a regular shirt design. Curious to know about that.
There is a Merch Freak shirt.
But you can see the S on the end is a $sign. So I'm going to assume yes. We'll see.
Merch Freak! We haven't had that in a while.
But last but certainly not least, Tiff, most importantly, probably going to be the top selling item in the next month or two, is your boy on the list of husbands himself. Orange Cassidy's got a T-shirt.
Freshly squeezed.
Look at that orange ass T-shirt. Those are you can see everybody wearing. Those are gonna be the shirts you can easily pick out when looking into an AW crowd. Bright highlighter orange with the freshly squeezed logo in the half thumbs up.
Yum.
It's great. It's awesome.
I'm still like totally against like damn T-shirts. I want like some V-necks. I want some lady tank tops. I'm gonna preach this until somebody listens to me.
Preach, yes, preach.
I'm gonna yell at Ryan. Ryan,
T-shirts now.
Girls need to breathe.
God, my tits. God. Anyway, speaking of merch, anywho, top selling wrestlers for merch in 2019. Obviously, number 1, Chris Jericho. That's an obvious one. Number 2, Kenny Omega. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the top 3 goes hand in hand. Like Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Jericho are always going to be the top sellers. They always have cool looking T-shirts, and they're always like the main attraction mostly. Number 4, John Moxley. Number 5. Coincidentally, they put into this. They added more people, but number 5, Marty Scurll.
Marty Scurll. Oof.
Cody at number 6. Tetsuya Naito at number 7. Mick Foley at number 8, which is shocking. I'm not sure what he sold this year that made its rounds. I'll have to go back and look. Number 9, Jay White.
Oof.
And number 10, Jurassic Express. I'm glad to see them in the top 10.
A lot of AEW. I don't know if you saw. Well, I don't know if you're familiar with Dan Housing, but he put his face on the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and he left Jericho.
Okay, I can kind of see that. I'll have to go back and see that.
I gotta send it to you. It's on Dan Housing's Twitter. I was dying this morning.
Danhausen.
I love him. Oof. Sign him. Anyway.
So that's the new merch and the top selling merch for 2019. I like the Orange Cassidy shirt, to be honest. Out of all that, I'm a fan of that. I may pick that up. I don't know. I don't think I've worn orange before.
It's like a peach. It's not really so much as like an orange. It looks more peach.
Peach orange.
Yeah.
But he's Orange Cassidy. That's why I say orange.
But it's fresh to squeeze. Are you a fan of my boy, my husband?
He's funny. He had a cool spot this week on Dynamite, but he's got a T-shirt now, so I'm excited to see how orange or peach, what color the arena is going to be from now on once it starts making its rounds. I'm sure that's probably going to be the first sold out item at merch stands going forward. I'm going to assume because he's just so over. So especially with the AEW crowd.
Oof.
So as for AEW, next week looks pretty cool. We thought we were going to get the announcement from Ambrose. I was going to say Ambrose. Moxley this week, but they moved it to next week. I was like, oh, I even tweet, I'm like, next week.
We have to like, push
Yeah,
it a
they
little.
better not do that. Better not like every week. Oh, it'll be next week. No, it'll be next week. No, it's all they lead it all the way to the pay-per-view. I'll be so mad. Next week. But we did get the stipulations we'll talk about with MJF. So we'll get into the Dynamite review, guys. January 1st edition. The Homecoming 1 year anniversary. It's the 1 year anniversary mark yesterday. On that day was when they released that video of Kenny, Hangman, Cody, and the Bucks, where they all had the phones out with the Double or Nothing logo, and then the AEW logo made its debut.
Yeah.
So 1 year since that, which is pretty cool.
Not bad for a t-shirt company, right?
So they were live from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, which was home for Fight for the Fallen this past summer. Really cool looking venue, and the crowd was so raucous. I mean, I guess they were more comfortable this time around because back in July it was probably like 180 degrees, so that kind of would have sucked to get. It's kind of hard to get hype when you're like humid as hell.
I know. Nothing more.
Taz was on commentary. I was excited to see that. There was big rumors beforehand going in that he was going to be possibly a what did we talk about the last episode, a commissioner role. That didn't come to fruition. I'm kind of glad because I don't think AEW needs a commissioner role, and Taz doesn't seem like the guy to be a commissioner. He's more of a commentator. I can't see him being anything more than a commentator because he's so good at it, and he was really good. He had the entire show last night, which is awesome. How do you feel about that, Tiff? Do you like Taz?
Yeah. I like that we're also getting like a whole bunch of guest commentary. So it's been interesting. It's keeping it fresh. It's not the same thing every week all the time as well. Because I know a lot of people aren't happy about mixed, right? Mixed reviews with commentary as well.
We definitely had an interesting guest later on the night, which we'll get to.
We'll get into later.
So we opened up hot, like on fire. We had Cody versus Darby Allin to open up Dynamite last night, and I had it. So and I tweeted this. It felt I had such a pay-per-view feel for this event. Like there was a lot of hype going into it, like more than a normal week's Dynamite because of the Homecoming and everything. It just the way this show started with everything, it felt like a pay-per-view. Like I thought I was watching a pay-per-view, and even this match was like pay-per-view quality.
I feel like this match was way better than the one that we did get on the pay-per-view, though. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you felt about the match, but I think it was definitely a lot better than the first time around.
Yeah, so that was a rematch from their Fyter Fest match back in the summer as well. I love the sick opening video they did with Darby, and I believe the guy who was with him was like some band member, and they made mention of commentary. I didn't recognize the band. People out there probably do, and give me shit for it, but I'm not into that music, so I don't know who it was. I thought it was a guy from Slipknot, to be honest. But there was a cool opening video with a guy wearing the paper mask, or the paper like kind of mask of Cody Rhodes, and he brought him out in his entrance and he ripped it off and tore it in two. So he was fired up about the match, Darby, and he was very, very over. Both guys got massive reactions here. Cody with his natural massive reaction, but Darby got a very well welcomed reaction from that crowd.
Yeah.
As for the match itself, I thought it was an insane match. Lots of crazy spots. There's that one crazy spot of they showed it during the picture-in-picture and they replayed it when it came back. The code red from the top rope by Darby onto Cody, which was really cool and nice looking. I saw a lot of spots that they kind of redid from their match at Fyter Fest, but kind of added some little bit of spunk to a couple of them. Mm-hmm. There's one cool thing that I haven't seen someone do in a while was Darby countered the Dusty Chop.
Yes.
That Cody did. I'm like, oh, okay. I've never seen someone do that. So I was like, oh, okay. And to do it that early, I was amazed. I was like, okay, good. So, but it was a grid match, awesome finish. Darby even kicked out of the Crossroads at one point, which is really cool. And I thought that was I'm like, oh man, okay, so we got a really cool near finish there. Cody ends up getting his knees up on the coffin drop and then rolled Darby up for the win. But I thought it was a really good match. A lot of people didn't like that Darby lost, but I'm like, he literally put up one of the he probably made Cody have his best match in AEW so far, besides the Dustin Rhodes match.
Yeah, because I don't think I was as crazy for the first one because I felt that Darby's so fast But I
Yeah.
felt like now, since they had their second time in the ring, they know each other, how they work a little bit better. And as we keep going through the weeks, they're only growing. So I felt like it was a lot better on this match than the first match. And the only other negative I'm going to say, and this is an overall thing, because you brought up the code red. I feel like everybody's doing the code red.
Yeah.
All right, like I don't know, maybe I'm being salty because of Amazing Red.
Being
Okay,
salty.
but I'm a little salty because of Amazing Red. But I feel like everybody's doing this move now, and it's like, I don't know. That's just me. But
I thought it was their best match so far. Like, that's probably one of Cody's best matches, and that was, because of Darby. And I don't understand the negativity behind him taking the loss here. I thought it was fine for him to take the loss. It builds momentum for Cody and MJF, and they put on a really good match. So
good opener.
Good opener. Very good opener. And then we transitioned to the SCU backstage promo. There was a couple of difficulties today with transitioning from backstage to back with the sound quality, which was... And I know there's going to be kinks, but, there was a few of them tonight. SCU was cutting a backstage promo. They cut a promo on the Dark Order, on like Pride and Powerful, like basically just cutting a promo like they're the tag champs and the teams they've ran through, and how there's so many good tag teams in AEW. Sammy G comes in, basically calls out Christopher Daniels. He's like, "Oh, I see them two with titles, but what do you have? Why are you here?" And then Christopher Daniels gets pissed, challenges Sammy for a match next week on Dynamite. Apparently, we're going to get a one-on-one match next week, Christopher Daniels versus Sammy Guevara, so that'll be interesting to see next week how that unfolds, and I'm sure to be a good match.
Do you think we're going to see another botch?
Oh, boy.
Okay, we were talking about this the other day.
Did you do it on purpose this time?
We were talking about this the other day. We were saying that we're starting to think that was a planned botch. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't know, like... We were really having a conversation, like it was just planned that he did that to go forward. So now, like, I feel like if we see like another botch next week, then we definitely know like that shit is planned.
I hope we do, and I hope he or he smiles about it or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I hope not. I hope it's not a real botch, and then maybe it's like Christopher Daniels. Maybe it's his body telling him, "Yeah, you might be done, bud." Hopefully not. We had the Fatal 4-Way Women's Championship match, which was in place of Chris Statlander, who had prior commitments that AEW honored, which is really cool. They even had Tony Khan come out and tweet about it, which was awesome as well. So we had a Fatal 4-Way match of Nyla Rose, Hikaru Shida, Riho, and Britt Baker. I did notice that Nyla Rose's theme song has kind of improved a little bit. I noticed that they've been adding some stuff to it, so I thought it was pretty cool. It makes... An entrance makes a wrestler as well. It's a big part of a wrestler's persona, and I feel like the improvements they did to her entrance theme were great, because before it was just kind of like you're giving her like a generic native music playing, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, she's a native beast, I get it. But they've added cool stuff to it. I don't know, just me and my pickiness that I've noticed. And then she's back from her suspension. She got suspended from power bombing. Who was it? It was Shauna and Rick Knox through the table.
Yeah.
She was back. And she didn't waste time during Riho's entrance. She attacked her stole the belt and started attacking everybody with that belt. And I'm like, okay, we're not wasting any time here. And I was afraid. I'm like, oh god, are we gonna get like a quick squash and she's gonna win the title? I was scared. I thought we were gonna get Nyla winning the title right away off hitting someone with the belt, and that was gonna be it.
I don't know. I mean, because of the fact that next week the belt was not going to come off of her. This is what I feel. I feel the belt, if the belt was going to come off last night, it should have went to Shida. And then you would have known that it would have never went to Statlander if it came off last night. Me and Kyle were talking last night, and I was going off, and I was like, I really feel like, and I think I said this in our year end, right? That I said that I feel like either Chris Statlander or Shida should be holding the belt. That's who I could see being the face of this company. I feel Shida is far more talented than Rihu.
Rihu.
We call her Rihu if you're new to the podcast instead of Rio. So I don't know. I mean, like, I think Kyle agrees with me that the belt should be on Shida.
But, yeah, list of wives.
list of wives. She should be your number one. I'm just saying, when it starts coming to the list of wives, you need to rearrange your list of wives because I don't approve.
In the works. It's on the back burner.
Yes.
I don't know if Styler is even going to win it next week. I get this like weird feeling that the Nightmare Collective are going to get involved and this is going to get prolonged to like either Revolution or even Double or Nothing 2. We'll see. But Nyla again jumped in everybody in the beginning of the match. There was the one table spot she did with Sheeta that looked painful as all hell. Like set up Sheeta on the outside and did like a back senton right through the table. Like that's full weight going through Sheeta and then end the table. But she was able to come back. A very good match, though. I thought it was a really good Fatal 4-Way match for what we got. Interesting, weird finish, though. I don't think that was the finish we were supposed to get because everyone looked very awkward and confused after. Even Riho was like, oh, really? I won? Because it kind of looked like Britt didn't turn in time to flip it back, the pin back. I think Riho would have still won. I don't think that was the way she's supposed to win. So very awkward looking, but they did a good job with transitioning it very quickly when Nyla started attacking everybody and attacking Rihu and then putting her through a table. And I thought that was a good way to transition a obvious botch into a perfect ending for the heel coming out on top and destroying the champ before her next championship match, which is next week. So, anywho, Rihu, speaking of. Janela backstage. Very, very quick segment here. Janela was backstage. Gets low blowed by his former manager, Penelope Ford. And I'm like, oh, and I saw a lot of tweets.
Your former girlfriend.
Yeah, people were just like, oh, I thought he shit himself.
Listen, can I just say, I know I brought this up in somebody's chat last night, that if you watch GCW and Joey Janela is always on commentary, all right, he has trashed Kip.
Yikes.
Penelope, and he said that he'd rather work his first job delivering pizzas than facing Kip and dealing with Penelope.
Oh.
Yeah, so we all knew, like, I knew this was going to come. It was just when was it going to come? And I don't think we're really going to get so much of a storyline of, like, from the beginning where, you know, that they came out, like, Penelope Ford came out with Joey Janela at Double or Nothing.
Maybe they do. Maybe we're
I don't think we're gonna get it. I think it's just gonna move forward. I don't think we're gonna have like a. I mean, that's just my thought. I think if we would have got that already, but maybe I'm wrong. But we'll see. We'll see.
Because we did get no explanation why she did that. She just low blowed. Kip came in, smiled, and then they left. I'm like, okay. She
deserves more ring time. Like, I've seen her in the ring plenty of times, and she's really good. And I really hate the fact that we're not getting her in the ring. I mean, you've seen her in the ring, and we haven't had like more like one-on-one. I've seen a lot more in the indie scene with her with one-on-one, and she's really, really good. So I wish we would have more. I mean, there's a lot of people on the roster that I wish we would see more of in the ring.
Yeah, I agree. Next here, and I'm just gonna toot my own horn. I called this. I knew it. I mentioned it in the podcast. If you guys are listeners each and every single week, you've heard me say this before, that I knew there's a higher power behind the Dark Order, and it's not Evil Uno. And we finally got a promo package today that proves that Evil Uno is talking to this quote unquote exalted one, who's Evil Uno's got like a dark raspy voice to begin with, but then when the exalted one talked, it was like obviously it was a edited, deeper toned voice, so we don't hear who it actually is. But he was mentioning to this exalted one that like all the destruction they've done, they've taken out the Elite, they've done all his bidding, and I'm like, okay, so someone from the beginning that's been doing all this. So it's got to be someone who's been in. It's not going to. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to be Marty Scurll. It's not going to be Marty Scurll. It's got to be someone who's already been in AEW since the beginning of when the Dark Order came in, who's controlled all this chaos. I've seen people mention Hangman Page. He worked undercover this whole time. I can kind of see that. And he's kind of like not himself lately. Maybe he's got like a two-faced personality. I've seen that. What's it called? That prediction that he's got like a two-way personality kind of thing. Like a personality that he doesn't control kind of comes in, takes over, and he's like the leader of the Dark Order. And then, you know what I mean? Kind of like a Venom thing, if you guys are the fan of the Venom stuff. Kind of like that.
Conrad said it's Vince.
Vince. Yeah, someone put that GIF in a tweet I had, and I'm like, it's not. And it was like the higher power Vince. It's me, Austin. It was me all along. I would die. That'd be hilarious. That'd be the most shocking moment on TV if it came out and it was Vince. That'd be like, what? But it won't ever happen. I've seen Hangman. Someone mentioned somebody else, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of maybe see that. And I forget who it is. Luke Harper.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are saying Luke Harper.
Yeah, and that'd be cool.
Wasn't there on Instagram with him and Jericho recently?
Yeah. I would love it for be Luke Harper. That'd be cool.
I just want to rant because I told Kyle I was going to rant about this today. Was that John Silver as one of the creepers drives me absolutely insane because
he fits that role perfectly.
But no, but see, you don't understand. Like he is so he's so damn good. If you watched on New Year's Eve Beyond Wrestling, him and Chris Statlander's match has been one of the most best intergender matches that I've seen in like a while. Like so,
God, the Indie Queen's coming out, guys.
Yes, the Queen of the Indies is coming out. But I'm telling you, this match, like you need to watch this match, Kyle. Like I'm telling you, I mean, she's amazing, but I really hate the fact that he's in the Dark Order. Just same thing about Peter Avalon as well, because I know how these guys are, right? Darby Allin, amazing, right? I know how some of this talent is, and they're not being used to their great potential, and it drives me crazy.
Crazy.
Okay.
Drives her crazy. Yes. Hopefully we will. Maybe this is just a quick thing. Maybe he'll wake up one day. I don't know. Seems like they like the Beaver Boys because they're sticking around for a bit. So.
Oh, so good. You don't understand. Okay.
So we moved on. We had Jon Moxley versus List of Husbands Trent Beretta.
Yeah.
Mox with a very over entrance again. He was very over in Jacksonville last night. Trent really took it to Mox this match. This was no easy match for Mox that he's had recently. This was a very hard, physical type match. He really brought it to Mox. There's a really cool, funny moment with Orange Cassidy and Moxley with the hands in the pocket thing, which is really hilarious. Where Cassidy came in, put his hands in his pocket, and Mox was like, oh, I can do it too. Which ultimately ended up being a distraction. So, Mox hits the paradigm shift on the ramp, eventually rolls him into the ring and does it again for the win. So Mox over Trent Beretta, and actually a really entertaining match. Sammy G came through the crowd. This is where we transitioned into the surprise for him if he joins the Inner Circle. Sammy G mentioned like, oh, I can see why you do this. I like this, hanging around with the people, and he was like stealing people's drinks and popcorn.
Yeah.
He says they have a big surprise for him. Jericho is on the screen. He compliments Moxley on his match. Says that, we understand there's other faction out there that be wanting to ask for you to join, like Dark Order and the Elite and all this stuff. But he has an offer for him and a surprise if he wants to join the Inner Circle. He's offering him equal shares in the LLC for the Inner Circle, offering the EVP role of the Inner Circle, and offering him a multi-million-dollar car, the Ford GT something. I don't know. Ford sucks, so
Found up from dead.
Yeah. And then the custom plate with Mox on it. So it was definitely an interesting offer. I thought for sure, and I remember you probably remember me mentioning, like, it's probably going to be a weird surprise where they're going to jump him. That's not the case. They're giving him like EVP role of the Inner Circle in a multi-million-dollar car, and basically he's going to lead the group with Chris Jericho. So even like Mox is like, oh damn, like maybe this will be good for me. Like he's contemplating it, and he said he looks forward from hearing from him. And Moxley got on the mic. He says he's considered Jericho a friend and a mentor, and he says that he'll have his answer next week. And I'm like, next week?
No, we got to prolong it.
That gif of Ryan Reynolds doing the thing. Really? Next week. So next week we're getting the answer, and this just goes to show you that Moxley's still undecided. Like it's not a definite no, like that people were anticipating. Like, you know, Moxley's the type of guy who toots his own horn and beats at his own drum, and you know he's a loner kind of guy. They mentioned it on commentary. Like he doesn't do anything with anybody, and now he's contemplating on joining this group. Unless he's not showing it. He's just doing this on purpose to just, you know, drag the Inner Circle along. Like he's doing this on purpose to, like, you know. He's not actually joining them. He's just making, you know, giving their hopes up, basically. The funny part here, like during the picture-in-picture, Sammy G had the signs in the Inner Circle doing that people could read during the picture-in-picture. He was like telling like Moxie to follow him on Instagram and stuff. I love this. This is funny. These are great.
The sister that he was saying to follow him.
Oh yeah, the sister. Oh, this was great. I love the picture. I hope they keep doing these sign things with the picture-in-picture. I hope that's a continuation.
I think so. It's going to be a thing. I love it. Yeah, I'm loving the signs as well.
So Sammy G was in ring gear because when we come back from commercial break, he's set to face Dustin Rhodes, which is an announced match. They did some improvements to Dustin's theme too, which I noticed as well. I think maybe they wait till the new year to debut some of these, but Dustin's theme has been enhanced a little bit, which sounds really good. Dustin ended up jumping Sammy during this entrance from behind, and just showing like the bad blood Dustin's had for Sammy. We saw in the promo video beforehand. I seen it in that Road 2 Jacksonville video. Jake Hager eventually comes out mid-match to ringside. He did make his presence felt while the ref was distracted at one point. Really cool spot with Dustin Rhodes. He pulls off a destroyer on the side of the ring, and I'm like, oh! Jesus. This guy doing this shit at this age. And then Sammy G tweeting out today, he's like, I'm okay, by the way. That's nuts. For Dustin to do that at his age, a destroyer, like a staying destroyer, like that's insane.
He looks so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah, he carried it. This was a long match for a guy at his age to keep going like that. And he tried to set up his turnbuckle kick, which the ref stopped. And I'm like, when has the ref ever stopped this spot from happening?
Yeah. A lot of heat.
Yeah, but Sammy grabs the ref. Jake attacks Dustin. And then Sammy ends up picking up the win off a quick roll-up. So Dustin not being able to get over. Sammy G getting the win, I thought was a smart idea as well, because it keeps the Inner Circle over as well, and it keeps the people in the Inner Circle looking strong as well. So
yes, and for all you loves out there, you saw that ass.
Oh yeah, he had the biggest wedgie I've ever seen in my entire life, and then
JR like brought it up, and I lost my shit. I'm like, he said wedgie. I'm like, oh my god.
Mrs. Masters watching with me, and she's like, "That's a lot of ass." That was a Spanish god's ass. Everyone got to see that ass. Anyways, we had a backstage thing with your boys, or our boys, private party in the bar, in the VIP. They're talking there, and the Hangman ends up just walking in, like just behind him, going. They didn't even say anything. Private party pissed. They're like, "You just walk in here and even say hi to us? What's going on, man? Like, what's?" They're like, "Wait, we're concerned about you. Like, we're worried about you, Adam. You haven't been yourself." Hangman gets pissed about this. Like, what do you mean I haven't been myself? And says he can whip both their asses at once, and it gets all pissy and walks away, and then throws his drink on the counter. The best part is when after he leaves after throwing his drink, his Isaiah's like, "Oh, you're gonna pay for that? That's like $12. You're gonna pay for that."
Quinn, I want your shirt.
Like, okay, Quinn. Okay, I thought Quinn said it.
Quinn, I want your damn shirt. Give it to me. All right. We talked about this in House of Glory. I'm gonna clip this and send it to him. I want your shirt. Okay.
I'm not part of this, Quinn. Don't get mad at me. That's all Tiff.
Not gonna get mad at me.
I don't want your shirt, man. You can keep your shirt. It's not mine.
Okay, Isaiah was like, I don't even have one. I was like, I'll switch with you. I still want the shirt. If you guys haven't noticed, it's all sparkly where it says this ain't water. So I need to have it because it's full of glitter. So
there you go. We transition to the MJF segment in ring with Wardlow. Okay, a couple of signs here that I seen in the crowd that made me laugh to the point where I had to tweet about it. Yeah, the first one was right in the entranceway. MJF tips 5%.
That's a lot. That's a lot for him, I think. Don't you think?
My Mrs. Masters was like, how does that make sense? I thought he was rich. I'm like, he's a heel. He's angry. You know, that's him being a dick. He's tipping only 5%. He can tip more if he wants to, but he chooses to tip 5%. He cuts, and there was another sign. It was MJF Peace sitting down.
I saw that one. So great.
These are great signs. So during the picture-in-picture, they actually showed him walking around the ring, making the fans kiss his ring. He actually had a couple of girls kiss him. The one girl kissed him on the lips. I'm like, okay. And then when he tried to get the one guy's girlfriend to kiss her on the lips, she's like, no. He's like, well, what about the cheek? And then she kisses him on the cheek, and he's like, yes, I'm the best.
But the boyfriend was getting mad.
Yeah.
And you saw that, like.
Anyway, I just realized I had the clip of Jericho's thing and I didn't play it, but I do have the clip of MJF's stipulation. So he gets on the mic, he cuts a promo on Cody first, and then he tells us, guys, the stipulations for the match with Cody, to have a match with Cody Rhodes. So if you guys didn't hear it, I have the clip here in the video for you guys watching on YouTube to watch. Here it is, MJF stipulations for the Cody Rhodes future match.
The year is 2020, and we're on the brink of history, man. We are so close to having the match that you and all your little Mark Boy fan club wants. The only thing standing in the way of that are just a couple of teeny tiny stipulations. Let's list them off, shall we? Stipulation number 1. Guys, I'm talking here. I know it's real complicated. If you want a match with me, you got it. We can have it at one place and one place only, and that's Revolution. However, in the meantime, Cody, I don't care what I do, and trust me, I'm going to do a lot. If you touch me, if you so much as lay one of your pudgy little fingers on me, Cody Rhodes, no match at Revolution, no match ever. Stipulation number 2. Cody, since you're such a tough guy, you're such a brute, I think it's only fair that in order to wrestle me, you should have to go 1-on-1 with an opponent of my choosing and beat them. And that opponent is going to be none other than Mr. Mayhem himself, my personal war dog, Wardlow.
Okay, well, the clip didn't give all of it. It's weird. I pulled it from the Instagram account. So it gave us the first 2. I will go over the third one. But yeah, so we had the first 2 stipulations that we just heard Mr. MJF say. So the first one being it won't be until Revolution, and until then, Cody cannot touch MJF at all. Can't lay a finger on him, or else the match is off at Revolution, and he will never face MJF again. Number 2, the stipulation. In order to face him at Revolution, he would need to go 1-on-1 with an opponent of MJF's choosing. Because he wants to label himself as such a brute and whatnot, you have to go 1-on-1 with his enforcer, Wardlow. It's not just going to be any match, Tiff. No.
Oh, no.
We're going to get the first ever AEW Steel Cage match.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, oh, baby. I was hyped for this. I'm like, okay, so we're going to get Wardlow's first match. It's going to be against Cody Rhodes, and it's going to be in the first ever AEW Steel Cage match. Like, oh, my God.
It's going to be crazy.
I wonder if they're going to do this I wonder if it's going to be the last Dynamite before the pay-per-view. Can you imagine? The MJF's like, no. I'm going to make you face him in the Dynamite before the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? So MJF gets the step up on him at the pay-per-view.
I mean, that would be a way to hype it even more.
So it'll be interesting to see when this cage match is, but he's going to have to face Wardlow and beat him in that cage match. And stipulation number 3, which we didn't get in the video there for some reason, is live on TNT on a Dynamite episode. Cody is going to have to get down on all fours like the dog that he is, MJF says, and receive 10 whips of a leather belt. And I'm like, okay, what? I'm like, where are we going? Mrs. Masters was like, that's kinky. I'm like, I don't know. I am like, I don't understand that stipulation.
Maybe it'd be like one of the belts he throws into the crowd or
Yeah,
something.
it might be like Cody's belt.
Yeah.
10 whip. I feel like that's going to be the first one that comes. Well, obviously, because the first one doesn't really matter. I believe it's the whips and then the cage match. Unless MJF's like tricky again, says both are going to happen in the same night.
Yeah.
So,
Oof.
Interesting stipulations out there. I don't know what you guys think about it.
Let us know.
Let us know. What do you guys think of those 3 stipulations? Crazy stipulations for MJF to face, or for Cody to have to face MJF at Revolution. So we know the match, if it goes down, more than likely it's going to go down. It's going to be at Revolution. So, end of February.
Right.
So I'm excited. It sucks that I'm not going, but yeah, it is what it is. We moved on from this. We had a backstage Jungle Express promo. They ask Jungle Boy about his match with Jericho, and like what he's looking forward to in 2020. They're looking for a fresh start. They mentioned that the records are now restart in 2020, but they're keeping the overall records. So the overall records will stay, but their 2020 records will be fresh, like restarted. So that's kind of cool. Luchasaurus tried to say something, but his mic got cut off. And I was like, oh no, poor Luchasaurus. This will lead into our tweet of the night. So our tweet of the night comes from Optimus Solo, at Optimus Solo. And he puts the tweet, one does not simply cut Luchasaurus's mic. I instantly think of the Lord of the Rings meme where it's like, one does not simply. And I wish he put that in a meme, because then he would have won tweet of the year. One does not simply cut Luchasaurus' mic. Thank you, Optimus Solo, for being winning the tweet of the night here in the All Elite Podcast. Guys, every single week after Dynamite, we'll put a tweet out, and you guys will have your chance to send us a tweet about AEW Dynamite, and it'll be one will be featured on the show like this as tweet of the night. So, sucks for Luchasaurus to get his mic cut off. Feel bad for the guy. Then we had Rihu backstage and with Michael Nakazawa, I guess her interpreter. And she was going to get interviewed, but Baker comes in all pissed. And she interrupts, and she's pissed about... and I was like, okay, so Tiff, after I watched this and after what you told me, your reaction, I'm like, okay, so Tiff must love this promo because Baker just called her out saying, I'm here every single damn week, wrestling here every week. Where the hell have you been? You're not here, and you're the champ. So... like,
that was funny. We were talking about.
Yeah, I'm like, Baker says, I'm like, did Tiff just like tell Baker what to do here? So it was really ironic at that point. I don't know if you tweeting, are you DMing Baker and what to do? I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay, maybe you are. It's between you two, not my problem. Adam Cole, I'm not getting between here. Speaking of Adam Cole, do you see that picture of everybody at celebrating New Year's together, and Adam Cole was there?
There, yeah. Everybody's
that was
like,
cool.
Out, like, why?
Like, why? He's dating Britt Baker. They're allowed to be together. It's not like they're not allowed to be together in public.
And they really are friends in real life.
Yeah.
Back to like PTE in the beginning or whatever like that, even though he's like, but still, come on. Be real.
Anywho, Rihu.
Okay,
we had a announced of Cody and Dustin versus the Lucha Bros next week. And then next week, Private Party is going to face Hangman and Kenny. And they mentioned this because Hangman Page joins commentary. And they mentioned this to him, and they're like, oh, did you know about this, Hangman? He's like, no, but it's interesting now. And we think Hangman was kind of a little bit on the sauce, as we'll play the GIF for you guys right now. His nameplate this week says, has been drinking. And you can see he was kind of caught off guard there. He's like, oh, hey. And I believe it was Anthony from Smart to Death who put out the tweet with the caption, when your wife catches you drinking a fifth whiskey and Coke.
It's so great.
This is the best GIF ever. I had to download it. I'm going to use this for a lot now, probably. So, yeah, now his nameplate this week says, has been drinking. So, that's interesting. So that's happening next week. Him and Kenny, we'll see if they're on the same page still.
Gotta see our boys though.
Private party. First match of 2020.
Viewing party at my house.
That should be a good match. Like Hangman and Kenny versus Private Party. That's gonna be an epic match. So we get to the main event. Lucha Brothers and Pac versus the Elite, Kenny and the Young Bucks. Again, Hangman on commentary. 50 minutes left TV time, so I'm like, all right, I already know this is gonna be a rush match.
It's less because of the entrances, so it wasn't really the. 15.
It was at 47. I see. I was keeping an eye on the time. 47. That this match officially the bell rung. They started wrestling, and for what we got, the fast pace, very very. It was more fast paced than anything I've ever seen. Like they had to keep the pace fast. It was a good match. Crazy spots. I mean, the crowd was still excited for it. Insane ending to the match. There was a lot of spots and near falls at the match where it was really hard to keep an eye on because it was so they had to rush it. And they had that rush feel, but then these are the guys that have the speed to keep up at that speed, so it kind of worked out. Kenny hit the one-winged angel for the win. The funny part here was they tried to invite Kenny. They had all the Elite in the ring. They tried to invite Hangman to the ring to celebrate with them. He's like, "No, man, no. This was all you guys. I got my drink. I'm good.
I didn't do anything."
So
and I love the Young Bucks' gear that I had to tweet Denise last night. That I love it because
their gear was awesome last night. Yeah,
love it. I love it. She thanked me. I love her stuff.
Shout-outs to you, Denise.
I was the first thing I noticed. I was like, yes. I was like, let me tweet her. I was like, let me tweet her really quick. But yeah, it was a good main event. I just hate that I feel like these main events, they're rushed. I wish we get a little bit more time. I mean, these are always going to be an entertaining match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. It'll forever be entertaining. I hate it being rushed.
It was insane though. For what we got in 13 minutes, I was like, oh, that was like the fastest, craziest match in 13 minutes that they could have ever done. And everyone was expecting Marty. I saw a lot of people tweeting like this is going to be the entrance for debut for Marty Scurll, the homecoming. It's coming though. I think he's coming. I think
it's coming. It's not going to, it's going to be when you least expect. Yeah. That's what I think is going to happen. Everybody's like assuming. I didn't think he was going to be at this one. I know he's facing in Ring of Honor. I think he's chasing the NWA belt. I'm not following NWA. I know a lot of my friends are. I haven't been, but I think he's going after Nick Aldis for the belt, which we've talked about. Like, how cool would it be? Like some sort of partnership with NWA.
And it would have been too rushed at the end because look how rushed they were.
Rushed. It's got to be tasteful.
I think he deserves a crazy full-on entrance too if he's gonna come out and make a spot. He gets his full entrance. They get the rights to his theme music and they get all that stuff because he can't have a different entrance music. His entrance music he has now is too perfect for him and it suits him and it's got the whoop whoop in it. You can't.
When he joined Bullet Club and Ring of Honor, it was very entertaining with Kenny over the screen talking about a villain, and then he just appeared and kicked Adam Cole out of the Bullet Club. So I don't know. I expected to have more time, like you said, maybe more of a pay-per-view. I mean, not that we wouldn't pop on a Dynamite episode, but I think he would deserve more. But I don't think we're gonna get that yet. I really don't. I think it's gonna be what we least expected. I think everybody's expecting very quickly, and he's not gonna come yet.
So maybe like a Revolution or Double or Nothing 2.
I don't know. I'm not sure when.
Okay.
I just don't think now.
Okay. Don't think now. Gotcha. But good episode of Dynamite. Very good homecoming episode. I'm glad everyone that was there enjoyed it. The crowd was very hot from start to finish throughout the entire night, so that was good. Next week we're in, was it Memphis? I think.
Yeah, I think it was Memphis.
There's somewhere next week. I always forget. It's a weird name next week, but they're celebrating the Memphis Legends. I think I seen next week.
Be an interesting episode.
Yeah, it's going to be there's some good matches and some interesting things that are going to happen. Whether or not Moxley gives us a good answer next week, but it's in South Haven next week.
All
South
right.
Haven, wherever that is. I don't know. I'm not from Merca. Missouri. So South Haven, Missouri. At the Landers Center. Ooh. For you guys going down to...
It's for Jersey, all right? I'm just saying. Come on.
What?
What? I'm
What'd you
trying to
say?
get tickets for Jersey in
Oh,
in a
okay.
couple of weeks. I need to go.
Yeah,
Kyle
so
should come visit me again.
The Legends of Memphis Wrestling next week is going to happen.
There you go.
So that'll be interesting to see.
We didn't get any Being the Elite.
No, that's I expected us to do Being the Elite review this week, and I'm like, oh, okay, guess not. I guess I don't know if it's going to be a Friday release. It's probably going to be a tomorrow release or a release during while we're on the show. I didn't get a notification for it, so obviously not. But yeah, good episode of Dynamite. I'm excited to see what 2020 comes for AEW Dynamite. We did our preview show, guys. If you guys missed that, it was the last episode. We did a 2020 and 2019 kind of recap, and then we did a preview for what we think is going to happen in AEW. We kind of went over future champions, future events, what we think that is coming to AEW. It's a very, very good episode. Probably one of my favorites we've done so far. So go check it out, guys. It's the last episode we've done, and that is the AEW 2019 recap, 2020 preview show. It's really cool, really fun to do. So now we're back to on schedule.
Yes.
Dynamite review recaps.
Dynamite in March. I don't know. Kyle, you coming?
I don't know
There's
yet.
A possibility
There's a possibility. I have
come.
to. It's not like I don't want to. It's work related that I have to go through and find out if that's okay. How am I getting down there and everything like that. I have somewhere to stay, obviously down there when I'm there, obviously with Tiff, but it's getting there and back and work stuff that I have to figure out first. I will tweet about it if I'm going.
Yeah.
She'll tweet about it. It'll be all there.
The tweeter.
We'll see. The tweeter.
The tweeter.
The tweeter machine. The tweeter. You tweet.
Retweet.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You tweet a tweeter, or you Twitter a tweet, and you snap a chat. And you face a book.
Oh, Lord, help me.
I face my Chromebook when I'm on Facebook.
God help me.
Anywho, guys. Speaking of that stuff, make sure you're following us on social media. And that's on like us on Facebook, the Facebook, All Elite Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, the Insta. The Insta, your filter everything on there. Do we filter anything on there? I'm not sure. But All Elite Pods, where you can find us there. And most importantly, the most important social media, Twitter. You can follow us at All Elite Pod on there, where we tweet everything. We interact with you guys on there. It is the main source of social media for this podcast. And if you are listening to us live right now, watching us live on YouTube, thank you for watching us live. If you are listening to us on the go, thank you for downloading the episode. And if you guys want to listen to us on the go, we are available on such apps like Apple and Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Overcast, everywhere. You can find the All Elite Podcast. Make sure you're searching up the No Holds Barred Network, and that's where you'll find our awesome podcasts and other awesome podcasts on the network, like Tiff's Indie Talks. Her last couple of Under the Ropes are on there. You can find my new podcast, The Master's Degree, on there. Everything on the network is available on the go as well. So check us out on the go. We have a t-shirt store. That is awesome AEW Tees t-shirt store. Link is located down in the description below for you guys on the YouTube version of this podcast. Make sure you check it out, guys. With all proceeds, everything you pay on this website gets donated to Culture City. We do not make a profit on here. We donate it straight to Culture City. Each and every month we get profits off this website, so go check it out. Awesome t-shirts on there. There's the Fat Pharaoh t-shirt, the list of wives, which is going to get an update soon with a new logo, the new list of husbands. The Pissant Company t-shirt, and most importantly, an awesome t-shirt that's on there is the These Wolves t-shirt. That is done by These Wolves, who are the band that do the official theme song of this podcast. They have a t-shirt on there, their own These Wolves AEW style logo with the music for the Elite underneath. And again, all proceeds for that t-shirt will be donated to Culture City as well. So go check us out, guys. Link is bit.ly/AEPT and lowercase EES AEPTs. You can find us on there. Link, again, located down description below on YouTube. And also, lastly but not least, going to give a shout out to my boys, These Wolves. They do the theme song Dead to Me for this podcast and other theme songs on the network. Go check them out, guys. They got their social media links there on the screen, and links are located down below for you guys to listen to all the rest of their music. Awesome band. Shout out to you, Darren, and These Wolves each and every single week right here on the podcast. So, what are you laughing at?
That's laughing, okay?
Just laugh. Oh, watch out. Man down.
He's drunk. He's drunk.
Oh.
He got into a little bit of the bubbly.
He got into the hangman sauce. That's what he got into.
Hangman sauce.
Anywho, Rihu. So I think that's going to wrap it up, Tiff. Not much else to say here. Looks like we just struck the hour mark now. That's a pretty good episode. See you guys next week for the next AEP. I have a master's degree episode being released this week, the first one of the new year. Talking about such things like the whole. Give you guys my opinions on the whole Young Bucks and Twitter situation. I got some stuff about New Japan, and I got a little bit of stuff about WWE. I kind of go over a little bit. So check that out when it gets released. Audio version is everywhere, and yeah.
Under the Ropes might be coming back next week with number 2 husband.
Ooh.
I got the wire that I needed to be in the Tiff domain. Oh boy.
Tiff domain.
The Tiff domain. And Colin West from Synergy Wrestling is going to come on as well sometime soon. I got to figure out a date for that. But yeah, stay tuned.
All right.
Good stuff.
Good stuff coming to the No Holds Barred Network. Follow that on Twitter, guys. NHB Network. So that's going to wrap it up, guys, for this episode of the All Elite Podcast. Right here in the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I'm your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and owner and CEO of the No Holds Barred Network. Always joined by my co-host. She is the executive vice president of Giggles, the heartbreak chick herself, queen of the indies, Tiffany. Tiff, say goodbye to the people. Bye. And we'll see you guys next week for the next episode of the All Elite Podcast.
I don't know how the story